So funny story, I actually, this is take 2 of this video. I actually was recording this and talking to myself for 20 minutes and didn't notice that I wasn't recording. Anyway, what's going on, everyone? Mr. Mom Collectibles, sitting at the table, drinking some coffee, and I got some thoughts. I want to talk about, as the thumbnail suggests, my favorite topic in the world, which is, in fact, InArt. No, this is not going to be a shit-talking video. Well, I don't even know at this point anymore. They're such a clusterfuck of a company. Anyway, so
by the way, if you guys can hear me, I'm actually in the middle of editing my video, and holy shit, do I have bags under my eyes. And yeah, I don't get the chance to sleep that much. Got a pregnant wife, got a 4-year-old. I barely sleep. So I'm sitting on the couch editing this video, watching wrestling, and I was like, holy shit, I got some bags under my eyes. Anyway.
So the whole point of the story is don't sleep on InArt, right? I am one that tries to avoid giving financial advice. I'm a firm believer of do what you want. It's your money. If you make a mistake, just learn from it and move on. That's what life is all about, right? No one tells you how to spend your money. Do what you want to do that makes you happy at the end of the day. However, with InArt, because they're a new company and they're not established like Hot Toys, I feel like with every release as a collective group, we're learning a little bit more about them and in terms of how they adapt and change their practices. And I think with every figure announcement and or release, we learn something more. And it's important to share information and share our experiences, right? That's what it's all about. So that being said, if you have been living under a rock or not, InArt dropped the Harry Potter unboxing video, their official video. I'll put it right here. And yeah, I'll talk over it. So it's not my video. So for those out there that like to say that kind of shit, get a life, I don't have to tell you. So we'll put the Harry Potter video right here. And it's like a 2.5-minute video, and I'll link it to their Facebook and YouTube. But they dropped it this morning, and I was just blown away. Like, honestly, it absolutely blew me away. And it was funny how I got so excited over that, and then Hot Toys released one-to-one statues of Deadpool and Wolverine. So, yeah, it made a lot of sense. Anyway, so the Harry Potter video was really great, straight to the point. Went through all the accessories. Everything looks really. I really have no complaints about it. It looks really amazing. I feel like as collectors are going to get their money's worth out of it. I did notice that they are making some adaptive changes, especially to the peg system and the hands. So I noticed on this release the pegs are actually attached to the hands, unlike the Gandalf, where that was just a nightmare of a peg system. And so it seems like they're changing it and adapting with it, and we just kind of got to roll with the punches as collectors and just kind of hopefully they get it right. That being said, when I say don't sleep on InArt, so I already noticed it's starting to happen, and it's going to happen more and more. From my understanding and from those that I've talked to, the Harry Potter is a low batch piece. It's not something that was for everybody, so no surprise there. So that being a low batch piece, I think what's going to happen, and we'll see if I'm right or wrong, but there's going to be hype for it, but I think the hype is going to get more and more as we get the subsequent other children released, Hermione and Ron. And once we have the trio, even Dumbledore and potentially Snape, that's going to be one major piece, very expensive piece, but I think each one is going to subsequently drive the demand for that one up and up until, because realistically, it's meant to be a cohesion system of figures, not just really one. So I already started seeing some posts on 1/6 Kits group, other pages, people basically posting stuff like, anyone got cancellations, or I got the sculpted, I want to upgrade to the rooted, or like that FOMO is going to start kicking in. And I know people are like, oh, I'm telling you, Harry Potter does relate to a lot of people. There's a lot of people out there that don't even know about this kind of stuff that are huge Potter fans. And so I just think that's what's going to happen. But as I said, coffee break. I think that the advice that I have about InArt, so for me, my very first InArt pre-order was the InArt Joker 2-pack. I bought it within that 3-day window. I fell for that bullshit, and I ended up not fulfilling it, which I don't have any regrets about, because Heath Ledger's not my favorite Joker, and I FOMO'd it because of that 3-day window that InArt proposed, and they kind of reneged on it. I'll put my mic right here on this little Spider-Man. And so so my official first one was the Henry Cavill Superman, and I ordered that day one. Now this is my advice. The Gandalf I was able to pick up. Thankfully, Kit got extra drops of that, and I was able to grab that at pretty much retail. But that Gandalf has jumped up to the $800-900 mark. The Aragorn, if you're getting it from resellers, It's anywhere between 850 to 950. It's just what it is. So the one thing that I will say about InArt is if you are 50-50 on a particular figure at the time that the pre-order window opens up, where you can day one pre-order it, and you're still 50-50 on it, I would suggest pre-order the figure. That's my opinion. Pre-order the figure. Why is that? Well, so far, history is showing us that for the most part, the figures are going up in price for the realistically. And the problem with InArt is that it's not like Hot Toys where you can afford to wait for something to be released to decide if you want to buy it or not. Generally speaking, every InArt figure gets sold out 6 months to a year before. Like Harry Potter, you can't get that. Even if you wanted to, you can't buy it. You got to pay a stupid amount of money. I'm talking about figures at retail. Sideshow, because they're mass producing stuff, and I know they're different companies. I know that. Once again, I'm not trying to draw comparisons, but you can't help but do it. So, remember that. So with Hot Toys, because they're mass producing stuff at a higher rate, there are some figures that you're able to play the waiting game until they go in stock. And there's a lot of backup places too, not just Sideshow. But with InArt, there isn't that many. There's not that many backups. Everyone's kind of selling for the same stuff, same price. So it makes sense to pre-order InArt day one if you're 50-50 on it. A Superman, something like that, if you want it. And I don't think you're going to lose money. I know people like, hey, you're throwing NRDs away. That's the last thing you want to do. That's a rookie move. Throw NRDs away. These are expensive NRDs. Okay, that's fair. But I think it's a little bit different with InArt. So if you put down an NRD, let's say Harry Potter, for example. You pre-ordered that thing. I think the NRD was like $95. And let's say you're not in love with it. Like, it's getting to the point of like, hey, listen, I really don't want this. Oh, man, I'm going to lose my NRD. I really don't think you're going to lose it. You could sell your NRD off to somebody. I know Kit does that all the time. Especially Kit is probably one of the #1 places that people are buying their InArt figures from. And also shout out to Jeremy Casa, too. For people who don't know, Jeremy Casa from Plastic Hero Collectibles, he can get InArt figures too, and he's actively getting InArt figures. As a matter of fact, I got, he's getting me the InArt Bruce Wayne already. He has it ready to go, waiting for me. So Jeremy can get InArt figures also. If you guys are interested in InArt, he has that accessibility to get pretty much almost day one for a lot of stuff. Not the influencer shit, but he can get the figures just as fast, just that people don't know about it. But, like that being said, when it's come to day one pre-ordering, a lot of people are getting them from 1-6 Kit. He does offer the option of switching over NRDs, like taking over someone's pre-order. So I really don't think you're going to lose out. And then the other thing is, you can even get to the point where you'll pay for the figure, and even if you still buy the figure and you get it and you don't like it, the chances of you reselling it and minimally breaking even are pretty positive. If you want to sell it for a little more and make money, I don't see that being a problem either. The bottom line is, the notion of like a Hot Toy where like, oh, I'm going to lose my $25 NRD, or you buy a third-party figure, Mars Toys, and you cancel, lose your NRD. I don't think that you're going to have that problem with InArt, because there's been batches of people that with every release they've been asking like, hey, does anyone have a pre-order they want to take, want me to take over, or I got a pre-order that I'm trying to drop, anyone want one? Or like I said, or people selling stuff. People are selling stuff all the time, and if you want to be a good Samaritan and sell your figure for what you paid just to break even, that's fine. You can do that. Or if you want to sell it, make a little more money and capitalize, that nothing wrong with that too. Nothing wrong with that. So that's kind of my moral of the story, is that what I've been noticing with each figure. So far, like I said, the Gandalf, I never pre-ordered that, and I was able to get that at retail pricing. And didn't have to pay the $800-900 for it. The Aragorn's going to be a hard one. Like I said, the Batman I pre-ordered at retail. Superman's at retail. The Joaquin Phoenix 4-pack is at retail. So those are all important pieces. And like I said, if you did, if you're on the fence about something, and like, I literally think you got to be like 50-50. I think that's a fair one. Like, you're kind of like, you want to, you're not sure. It makes sense to pre-order it. And like I said, I don't think you're going to lose your NRD. There's people that are willing to take over orders, as I said, or anything like that. And I just think it's smart, because InArt, I say this all the time, I think they make a really good product, but I think their company ethics and their operations are absolute dog shit, with the influencer batches, with all that nonsense. And so it makes sense to get in day one with InArt. if you're 50-50, and I keep saying that. Get in day one, secure your deposit. You have more than enough time to think about it. And like I said, if it comes to it where you really don't want it and you have options of getting rid of your NRD, where you can sell it off and move your PO over, transfer it to somebody else so you don't lose your money. People who've never done that before, One Six Kit is great about facilitating that process. And so that's something that's just very mindful to think about. So I want to make these updated videos because, as I said, InArt is a new company and we're learning as we go. We have to be kind of cohesive about this and share our intel, share our experiences. Hot Toys has been around for 20 plus years, and so a majority of us who are collecting Hot Toys has already been established already. However, this is our first real, I think, test of a 1/6 scale company, and we're seeing the birth of it before our eyes. And so they're going to go through peaks and boundaries, so to speak. And so, as I said, just to wrap up this video, it's important for us to share our information, and it's important to be just as critical. And once again, I can't stand the word negative. I think that's a cop-out word that people use a lot. Like, oh, you could be critical, and yet people want to spin that as you're being negative. That's bullshit. I mean, if you want to say that, that's fine. I've been very, very critical of InArt. Absolutely critical. And something to kind of just, like I said, I'll leave my final thoughts here. It would be a little different if I just sat here and just talk shit about them and I refuse to buy anything. But I am invested. I have one of their figures and I have multiples on pre-order. So I am a customer. And so I have every right to criticize them, just like Hot Toys. And I don't think they're perfect by any means. And I think the most important thing for InArt is to maintain the quality of their figures. They have collectors by the balls, I think, because they're putting out really great looking pieces and people are willing to wait for them. And I think that they'll test collectors as much as they can, intentionally, unintentionally, whatever it may be. But when InArt starts slipping on the quality of their product, that's when they're going to get fucked by collectors. But right now, everyone's going to bite their time and deal with it because they know that they're waiting for a great product. I've seen the comments already today on the Harry Potter video. They're like, you guys are announcing, releasing the video for this. Where's Batman? Where's Batman? Where's Batman? So you're going to get that. And so, like I said, InArt, keep making the products, because right now people don't like your operations. They don't like your influencer batch systems. They don't like, the way things are going. InArt is technically, it's from Queen Studios. They're doing stuff like a statue company in batches, and collectors aren't used to that kind of stuff. They're used to just get, when it's out and getting it. But as long as the product is there and it meets the expectations, I think collectors are gonna stand for it, at least for the time being. And so, as I said, just gonna wrap up here. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, what your thoughts are about like this whole situation. But as I said, just to recap, if you're 50-50 on an InArt figure, I suggest day one pre-ordering it. If you're 50-50, I don't think you'll lose the NRD if you end up not liking the figure and you don't want to commit to it. There is ways of trading your NRD off to somebody else to get your money back. You can sell off your pre-order. You can even get the figure, buy it at retail, and then sell it for retail or sell it for more money and make a little bit extra. There's ways of doing it. They're not like Hot Toys where everyone's sitting on Bo-Katans and Costco Reeves and taking losses on them. There's definitely there's something you can do with a lot of these figures. And so, like I said, that's my 2 cents about it. But enjoy the weekend upcoming, everybody. For those getting the Harry Potter figure, it looks fantastic, and the subsequent figures coming out. Drop a like on this video. Please consider subscribing to the channel if this is in fact your first time. And until then, this is Mr. Mob Collectibles saying take care, and I will see you guys in the next video. And a little hint of what's coming up next. There you go. Have a good one, guys.
Acknowledge me!